Hey everybody, welcome back to Ken in the Kitchen. My name is Ken. Thank you so much for being here. And today we are making brownies. And this recipe is from Adam Ragusea's channel. If you have not watched Adam before, he is really fun, he's very informational, and he's pretty much a to the point kind of person, so his videos aren't over long. He was fooling around with this recipe, looking for a way to make brownies that were better than a box but not as involved as normal scratch brownies can be. That being said, I like the recipe, but I have one quibble with it, which I will get to at the end of the video. I will also link down to his video in the description below. Check it out. His channel is a lot of fun. So without further ado, let's just dive into the recipe. Okay, you're going to want 113 grams of butter, or one stick, however you want to do it, followed by half a cup of cocoa powder. Adam Ragusea uses Dutch cocoa powder. That's going to give it more of an Oreo flavor. I prefer the Nestle. And then 1 can of sweetened condensed milk. I use Eagle brand just because it's what I grew up with. 1 cup or 120 grams of powdered sugar. We'll be using 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, whatever your favorite kind happens to be is good. 1 egg yolk, no whites, just the egg yolk, all pretty and orange and stuff. And 3/4 cup of all-purpose flour. While your oven is preheating to 325 degrees Fahrenheit, you're going to want to put your butter into a pan on your stovetop on medium heat. Start at medium and kind of go from there. Adam's idea here is you want to boil out all the water from the butter until just the milk solids are left. Keep in mind that when all this is happening, you're going to get more and more bubbles on the surface, and it's going to be harder to see if the butter is indeed browning. So as you're stirring it so that the milk solids don't stick or burn on the bottom of the pan, you'll kind of want to stir the bubbles out of the way so you can get a clear look at the color of it, because it can go from brown to burnt very quickly. That looks pretty brown to me, so we can now add the cocoa powder just right in there with the butter and just continue mixing it until it's all incorporated. After it's well mixed, you're going to want to just let the cocoa and the butter come to a boil and just leave it there for about a minute. You don't want to go for too long because, again, we don't want anything to burn. That looks good to me, so let's go ahead and take that off the heat now. At this point, we can add our can of sweetened condensed milk and just go ahead and whisk while you're pouring it in there. It's pretty thick, and you will notice that this mixture is going to thicken quite a bit as you're adding these extra ingredients, and it's going to be harder to stir, but just keep at it. You want this to be very thoroughly combined. Next comes the powdered sugar, and be careful because, you're probably well aware of how easy it is to make a mess with powdered sugar. It will go everywhere. So again, it's going to start thickening up a lot, so just keep at it. Put that forearm strength to good use. Next, you will add your vanilla extract, followed by your 1 egg yolk. And again, let's start stirring everything together. It's getting really stiff, but the worst is yet to come as far as how sore your forearm might be feeling right now, because now we're going to add the flour. And that's 3/4 cup of all-purpose flour. And yeah, it's about this time that you'll probably start questioning your life choices because your arm is going to be very sore. Just keep going with it. You really need this flour to be well combined. You do not want to see any streaks in it. Now, Adam used a parchment sling. I tried and I just could not get that to work, so I ended up just pouring it into a glass baking dish that I had sprayed liberally with PAM spray, and I thought that was going to be fine, and it was kind of sort of fine, but not all the way fine. As you can see, this is a very sticky batter. It's hard to get out, but keep at it. And really, it doesn't matter what it looks like on top because we're just going to be sticking it in the oven anyway, and it'll kind of self-level while it's in there, so don't worry about it too much. Into the oven they will go for about 30 to 40 minutes. I checked mine after 25 and then let it go for another 5. I pulled them earlier just because I like my brownies to be more fudgy. The next tool you'll need is a magic toothpick in order to check the doneness of your brownies, as most of you probably already know. If you like your brownies to be fudgy, make sure there's some stuff on the toothpick. If you like them more cakey, make sure the toothpick is completely clean when you take it out of the brownie. And this is where I kind of wish I'd been able to do Adam Ragusea's trick with the parchment sling. This brownie is dense and it is sticky. Because of the shape of the baking dish, you can see I mangled my first brownie getting it out of there. It just happens. But look at the top of the brownie. It looks great. It's got that nice kind of glossy, crackly top to it, which is what I look for in a brownie. And it was great. The texture is perfect. It was just chewy enough, and it wasn't, it wasn't cakey. It was fudgy. It tasted good. So yeah, this was a fun alternative to a box mix. And as you can see, really easy. However, it wasn't quite sweet enough for Karina and myself. We like our desserts to be sweet. That's what makes a dessert for us. So what we ended up doing is spraying whipped cream on top of it and our own mixture of cinnamon and Splenda instead of regular cinnamon sugar. That got it to the level that we needed it to be as far as sweetness. Your mileage will vary. If you don't like your desserts, if you don't like your brownies as sweet, then this is probably a perfect recipe for you. I was really surprised by that, considering there seemed to me that there was a lot of powdered sugar going into this thing. So I was kind of confused when I took a bite. It's also very stiff and it is very sticky. I really wish I could have gotten the parchment sling. Adam uses a parchment sling in his video. I couldn't get it to work for me because I am all thumbs and clumsy, and I just couldn't get it to work. So I just sprayed a lot of Pam in the glass dish, and it was okay. I didn't have any stuck on the bottom. I was able to, we were able to eat the entire thing without losing any to stickage, but it would have been a lot easier. It was a process to get it out of the bottom of the dish. So just be warned, if you know how to do the sling trick, I would encourage you to do that. And that's all this week. Thank you so much for being here. If you're new here, please go ahead and like and subscribe. Please leave a comment down below. Liking a video and leaving a comment does more to fight the algorithm on YouTube than just about anything else you could do. Sharing also helps, so if you know someone who's looking for a tasty and simple brownie recipe, why not share the video with them? They might appreciate that. You can also follow me on social media. Here's the little, I'll put them somewhere on the screen for you to look at. And of course, they're in the description below also. I will let you go for this week. Thank you again for stopping by and spending some time with me. Hope you learned something, and until next time, I'm Ken. You take care and happy baking.